Meet Jenn Smulligan. She's a member of the VB Customer Engagement team, and she also teaches A&P at a community college in Massachusetts. She recently had her students complete an assignment using VB Suite's flashcards, and she's going to walk us through how it went.
I came up with this assignment in the last semester that I taught. So I teach 2 mini-mesters, so 2 8-week A&P 1 courses. So it's accelerated, and it's definitely a struggle even in a full 16-week course. When it comes to Bony landmarks, there's just a lot of them. So when we have to test them, we're testing students on a minimum of 65 landmarks. So that's a lot. And at least in a regular semester, they get to spread that out over 2 weeks of learning. Whereas in this mini-mester version, they're covering both labs in 1 week. So they have like 4 hours of lab they're covering in 1 week. And it's just a lot of, anatomy content that they have to master in a very short period of time. So I wanted to give them any tools that I could give them to support their learning of something that tends to be, memorization heavy, and give them a good visual. So it was less about memorization and kind of being able to link these terms with actually, an actual visual image.
Jenn tasked her students with creating a flashcard deck of at least 15 cards showing a minimum of 30 Bony landmarks. They were allowed to use the whole bone view or the bone details view, and they could either write their own flashcard prompts or use the auto-labeling feature.
As a student, when I was going through A&P, flashcards were really helpful for anything that was terminology heavy. So for me, and I used the traditional flashcards. I got index cards and cut them up and made my own stack, and I'd keep them in my bag, and I would go to the lunch table, bring them with me to lunch and flip through them. And I feel like we've really shied away from that, especially after the pandemic, moving to more technology heavy learning modalities. So utilizing visible bodies flashcards was kind of a no-brainer. They're so versatile, and because they can be customized so easily, and the toolbar that students can use or instructors can use when creating flashcards is very simple and intuitive. It was a great opportunity to push flashcards in that way and kind of mix in that the old school style of using flashcards for that memorization heavy topic with students really actually getting in there and getting their hands dirty to make them, which just reinforces the learning process. I encourage my students to pick the ones that are most difficult for them, that they haven't mastered yet, because each touch point they have with that term, with that topic, with that bone, it's just going to reinforce that for them without them really having to try and think about putting that extra effort into it.
Students submitted their flashcard decks by generating a share link or QR code and pasting that into Blackboard. Then, Jenn could open each deck in VB Suite to grade the assignment. Another option for assignment submission is to have students paste their deck's share link into a short answer quiz in Courseware.
So for these ones, as extra credit, the assignments were graded as complete, incomplete, and so they had, for the extra credit, it was 5 bonus points on their exam. So I looked at the 5 points. If they hit you made at least 15 flashcards, you covered at least 30 different markings, and you submitted it on time, you're going to get the full 5 points. If you missed the mark on any of those, or didn't follow instructions correctly, then we could, maybe you got 4 points, maybe you got 3 points out of that, and then I would give them feedback as to why they didn't get the full points for it. After the first time that I utilized the assignment, I wanted feedback. As an instructor, I am constantly reflecting on my practices and the assignments, and I really want my assignments to be for the benefit of the students. And so the best place to go to ask about that information is directly to the students. So I looked at my list of students who had completed the assignment, and I reached out to each of them individually and asked them, if they found it beneficial, did they find it difficult or too time consuming, and any other feedback they wanted to give about that. And all of them responded positively, very positively. They liked it. They liked having the tool. And one of the comments was that the student had wished that I had introduced flashcards earlier in the semester, and perhaps as a 4-credit assignment, so everybody was forced to do it, and if they wanted the credit for their actual assignment, but so that everybody would do it and see what a great tool they have at their disposal, and they could utilize it as they saw fit throughout the entire semester. So not necessarily just for assignment based. I think a lot of times, especially in online courses, it's a lot of just do this work, do this work, do this work. And it's, checking boxes, it's multiple choice, it's, writing out an open response question, which even now we're finding, at least my colleagues and I are finding, students are using AI generated responses for any sort of open response question. So this is something that students truly do have to do the work to generate on their own. There's no way to fake it on that, at least right now. So, aside from maybe one student sharing their copy of their own flashcards with another student, students are actually going to have to do the work on it. So by allowing them to engage with the content, by removing, the ability to use AI resources to do the work for them, and by teaching the students how to engage with the software, with the program itself, it empowers them to use it more to meet their own needs.
Thanks, Jen, for sharing the details of this assignment. To learn more about all the awesome educational resources Visible Body's suite and our learning and course management platform VB Courseware can offer your school, visit visiblebody.com/institutional licenses.